Dany hates cockfighting, Tyrion grows his playoff beard, and holy crap, is that Lancel? Tonight we're looking at Game of Thrones 501, The Wars to Come on What's on the Box?
Tonight we're discussing the Season 5 premiere of Game of Thrones, The Wars to Come, and boy is it a table-setting episode if ever there was one.
Even the title just sounds like table setting. Call the kids to dinner, Mom, we're setting the table.
There's a salad fork, there's a dessert spoon.
Not much meat on the plate.
No.
Except for the end when you get a little Mance Raider. Well done.
You son of a bitch.
Right off the top, we want to say we are both book readers, but you can watch this video without fear of any book spoilers. We will not discuss the books at all. We will be treating the show as its own entity, which it pretty much is at this point.
Yeah, at this point, the scariest thing about the show is the fact that we as book readers don't know what's going to happen. We decided going into this series that we were going to look at this as only a TV show. You can watch this spoiler-free. Game of Thrones, since the pilot, hasn't really had great season premieres.
They always have to reorient viewers into this world because, I mean, it's been so long. When the theme song started, everyone we were watching with was almost in a state of disbelief. It was like meeting a celebrity. We've waited so long for it to come back, we kind of have to get reoriented with the world. So that being said, let's jump in. We had 4 main stories going on, and they're pretty much the 4 main characters left on the show.
Cersei, Tyrion, Jon, and Dany.
Another side note, her name's Daenerys.
Yeah.
It's not Khaleesi.
It's not Khaleesi.
It's not Khaleesi.
Wife of the chieftain. Come on.
It's like calling Cersei queen.
Yep.
That's not her name.
No.
No. I like how we started Cersei's storyline, because in her first scene with Jaime at Tywin's funeral, where it looks like Tywin is trying to sleep through class,
Saved by the Bell graphics. Like the triangles and shit.
When I wake up in the morning.
she says that the enemies are not from without their family, they're from Tyrion. She's only concerned at this point with Tyrion, and maybe she shouldn't be, because as we saw in that scene with Marjorie, people might already be plotting against her.
This is true, and this is a really good way of getting into talking about how we open the episode with the series' very first flashback. The showrunners early on said in the media that they weren't going to do flashbacks, and they finally had to with this sequence where young Cersei and a friend go to see a swamp witch.
A very sexy swamp witch.
Well, it's not TV, James, it's HBO.
Perfect casting for little Cersei. I mean, hair and costume helps a lot, but that little actress was able to nail Lena Headey's mannerisms so good.
Yeah, she really had the character down. Credit to Michael Slovis, the director, who we know from Breaking Bad. The biggest thing that we take away from that flashback sequence is that there's a younger, more beautiful someone threatening Cersei's crown, and all 3 of her children are allegedly going to die. And so far, the tally is 1 dead, 2 alive. We assume that the younger, more beautiful to-be monarch is Marjorie, who is already sinking her thorns into young Tommen.
And her eyes into her brother's little Twinkie lover.
Poor Loras.
As a character?
Yeah.
Yeah, all Loras gets to do is have gay sex.
Like, come on.
It just sucks that show Loras is just...
Gay?
That's it. He's just gay.
Yeah.
That's it. And he's sleeping with the guy who slept with Oberyn, who I think is still working for Littlefinger. Guy's a spy.
We have to assume that every prostitute is working for Littlefinger at this point.
Julia Roberts and Pretty Woman, working for Littlefinger.
The Tyrells are up to no good. You're wearing Tyrell colors.
I like them.
One of them anyways. So Tommen is under threat, Myrcilla is off in Dorne, and we know that the Dornish have reason to not be too happy right now.
What are you talking about there?
You know what? I can't crack my head open and think of it.
Yeah, it's like my thumb's right on it,
Right?
but I just can't.
Oh,
They killed Oberyn.
that seems like it's going to be the big driving Cersei plot going forward, is trying to keep her power and protect her children.
Yeah, it also looks like there's going to be some conflict with the religion of the town, because she runs into Big Buff Lancel, and it seems like sparrows are circling over her head.
Is that the same actor?
It is.
Really?
Yeah, dude just like hit the gym hard. Yeah, I bet Cersei's all like, huh, should have waited to bang this cousin.
Yeah. It's a wonder what haircut and the Faith of the Seven can do for your physique.
I'm a different person now.
So Cersei's chilling in King's Landing while Dany's hanging out in Marine, using up all of the show's budget, because they tear down that harpy and it looks awesome. Then she visits the dragons and they look awesome.
Dragons look great.
They did so much in this first episode, I'm hoping they have a budget left for other stuff.
I'm not too concerned. They did a really great job of concealing the dragons with the darkness, which also added to the tension of the scene. I mean, there's a practical reason, sure, but that was a really suspenseful, scary scene where she goes down to confront her former pets and children.
Now she keeps chained up, even though she is the freer of slaves.
If Viserion and Rhaegal are that big, I am very excited to see Drogon.
Yeah, he's gonna be like a flying killer whale that breathes fire.
We have the introduction of the Sons of the Harpy, which it's a tender moment, I feel, when that Unsullied goes. Part of their freedom is a freedom to seek out companionship, something that they were denied when they were slaves.
In addition to having the Sons of Harpy kill her Unsullied and wage this like guerrilla war on her, she has to decide whether or not to let the Yunkai reopen the fighting pits, because Hizdar Zolorak, which is his actual name, wants her to open them.
Dany is not into.
But Dario is.
He's not wrong. These people that she freed, this is all they know. It's like how the Unsullied aren't good police.
They need a lesson from the bunk.
They're soldiers. They're not a police force, and these gladiators can't go back to being just people. She didn't think about the consequences of her actions, which is something that a Game of Thrones premiere really hammers home.
If there is a single theme to this episode, I'd say it's characters dealing with the consequences of their action, which really is just like dramatic writing.
Right. It's plot.
But we see it everywhere. We see Tyrion stranded on another continent because he killed his father. Great scenes with him and Varys.
Peter Dinklage and
Conleth
Conleth Hill. It's a masterclass. It's just a masterclass of effortless acting.
The funniest moments of the episode come from them.
I never said you were perfect.
While still being seriously dramatic, they're talking about very heavy things. And we get a glimpse into Varys' motives.
Varys is a patriot, man. Varys is all about the country. If Westeros had a little Westeros lapel pin, he would wear that with pride.
We have these two characters who are so smart and so good with their words together, scheming together. We're gonna get a lot of really great stuff.
I hope it lasts a very long time, but knowing how the show likes to make its fans sad, it'll probably end like after the next episode.
Even though the scenes are very entertaining and they're very funny, there's a real sadness behind Tyrion. His body language, obviously the drinking. Like Dany, he's dealing with the consequences of his actions, and he's dealing with it in a very emotional way. More than a lot of other characters deal with their emotions.
Probably because he's smart enough to be aware of what it means.
I think so. I think that the reality of having killed his father and somebody who he loved is really hitting him hard, and it's something that I hope that we continue to explore as the season progresses.
The last big character left in the show, since everyone else is fucking dead, is Jon Snow.
Jon Snow.
Jon Snow.
Jon Snow.
Uncle Benjen, I don't want to be a steward.
That's really good.
Oh, thanks. I work on it at night. Jon is dealing with the new reality of life under the Manus. Stannis the Manus, that is.
Stannis the Manus. I'm really excited for Stannis to be at the wall, and for the two of them to have more scenes together.
I like the mutual respect they have for each other. I would have been excited for the two of them and Mance, but holy shit, Mance got burnt to death.
The consequences of Jon putting Mance out of his misery, I think, are going to be really fun to watch.
Oh, what do you think's gonna happen? I think everything is gonna be rosy. Do you think Stannis is gonna be pissed?
I think there's a chance that Melisandre is going to be pissed.
Okay.
Which means that Stannis is going to be pissed.
Maybe.
But if Stannis respects the decision...
And he probably acknowledges the tactical usefulness of it, because now the wildlings will listen to Jon and respect him.
That's true. When Jon goes to convince Mance, that was a good scene.
That was a great scene. I mean, it's such exquisite acting by Karen Hines with that little twitch he does when he finds out he's gonna get burned to death. It's nice to see him finally get to do something, because he hasn't really gotten to do much in his other appearances on the show.
To finally get a true moment where you kind of feel, oh, this is why this guy is the leader.
And I'm sad to see him go because of that.
Yeah, me too. I am very curious about Littlefinger and Sansa.
Great pairing. Sansa's really come into her own and is able to verbally spar with Littlefinger of all people.
And she's learning the game and how to play it. And we're getting glimpses of Sansa finally being as smart as all the other Starks. She's always had it in her, but she just had it often literally beaten out of her. And now she's getting to be a character on par with Arya and Jon.
And her strength comes from a more traditionally feminine sensibility, and I really like that George R. R. Martin and also the show that that's equally valid. Well, that about sums it up for our discussion of the wars to come.
And certainly there are plenty more wars to come. We did a lot of plot summary today. There wasn't a whole lot going on. You know, it was a table-setting episode, and this is a table-setting discussion.
But still, we would love to continue it with you in the comments below. So write us, we love talking about the show.
No spoilers.
Don't post book spoilers.
Nobody wants that. We're book readers, like we said, but this is a discussion about the show.
If you post a book spoiler, we will delete it. Next week, it looks like we'll get some Arya.
Definitely gonna get some Arya next week. Very excited about that.
House of Black and
and
White. Cool. Until then, I'm James.
And I'm James.
And this has been What's on the Box?
You should subscribe.
You don't have to remind me. The channel of practical folks. This is where you'll find the videos you seek. Subscribe.
I will burn you alive if you don't subscribe.
All they understand is YouTube.